One bottle later.
So, what we were just talking about is...
This is our first podcast.
Yeah.
We're going to call it that because we're manifesting.
We're manifesting. We're just going to open our throat chakras, use that voice, use our experiences.
Mm-hmm. Speak from experience.
Yes.
Connect with our past, present, future.
Yes.
And,
just have a little chat it up. But before we started pressing record, we were just discussing how it's difficult to put things out on the internet because we feel like we're going to be like glued to the words that we say,
right? And
we don't want to get like any backlash or be misunderstood.
Like what we believe in right now is based on the experiences that we've had
until now. Yes, and we're gonna live tomorrow, the next day.
We're gonna encounter new relationships that are gonna teach us their perspective through their experiences, and being the open-minded people that we are, I'm sure we will continue to walk in our truth.
Yes, and we will continue changing
our
perspective. Our perspective is always changing and evolving, and everything that's happening right now is just based on past experiences up until now. So the things that we say today can change tomorrow and the next day.
And if you want to enlighten us with a different perspective than the things that we
are sharing,
you can.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. I love this one.
It's so good. Okay, let's see. Let's talk about change.
Change is the only constant.
Change is the only constant.
We have to get comfortable with letting go.
Letting go.
To the things that don't support our growth.
Hey.
To the things that don't support who we are.
Hey.
To the things that don't support
the goddess that we are. But yes, change is supported and gladly accepted.
Yes.
No, honestly. But change is hard though. Change
is hard.
Change can be hard. But again, it's all about perspective.
It is all about perspective. Change is hard because there is it's hard from different angles, because there's the change that happens because you have to, when you're wanting to grow, you're wanting to be better, you have to become aware of your own bullshit, first of all. Okay.
The shadow self.
Yeah, like embracing this shadow that sometimes, when I encounter myself with people who are positive, I love positive people, but sometimes positive people haven't embraced their shadow.
Yes.
And so it is just empty positivity.
That doesn't feel real.
Except, right.
Yeah.
But we've all been there. Before I had experience, right now I'm 29, but when I was 19,
that's true, sweet.
All I had was kind of the the quotes that I would read, the things that would make me feel better about myself, make me feel good,
mantras.
or and it was positivity, but you have to become aware of your own bullshit, and then with changes also, the people around you have to want to change, and that's hard. That's hard because a lot of the times people are in different places in their lives. And so there's this constant practice of letting go of what you want.
Because you want them to change with you and your friends and everything.
Or you want, if you're someone who wants better or who wants to keep growing, evolving, there's always sacrifice. And sometimes you're not sacrificing. In the beginning, we sacrifice shit. We sacrifice pain. We sacrifice, we're fueled by our dreams or we're fueled by our fucking nightmares. So sometimes, some of us, in my case, I was fueled by things that I didn't want anymore. I was filled by like nightmares of the things that I was like, I can't be here. I can't.
Like being stuck.
But then there's sometimes that you have to sacrifice things that feel good. And you're like, this, you sacrifice comfortable. You sacrifice great because now you want extraordinary. So there's this, it's like Cascade says, how much is enough?
Honestly.
How much is enough?
Enough.
Fuck.
How much is enough? Damn, I feel like that's a hard question.
That is a hard question.
Because I feel like I'm someone who's satisfied with kind of the bare minimum.
No, and the thing is that like and here's the thing though, like I'm satisfied, like for example in my last relationship, I was satisfied with like the little things, and that's why I enjoyed that relationship, because I was satisfied doing nothing sometimes. But we are part of a puzzle. We are part of the bigger picture. So while you can be in this fantasy world, even if we're also like, hey, there's people, like for me, I feel like there's a part of me that's not fully feeling good if I'm not working towards something, because at the same time, we have to do our part in this world. So how much is enough is constant change towards something greater, because we're all
literally
an example. We're all there to help each other, and the only way to help each other is to inspire each other and be an example of what we say we believe in.
Yes, honestly, that's a perfect answer, because like I'm satisfied with literally just knowing that I always want to be better. Like that's literally what makes me feel good about myself, is that I'm always trying to be better at what I'm doing, or like who I'm even connecting with. Like I'm always trying to make sure that I'm surrounded by those that are like supporting me. Like I have 0 toxic people in my life right now, and like that's just like, that has been like a game changer, to like be around only people who inspire you, who lift you up.
And that's because you're one of those people too.
Oh, thanks. So are you, Sad.
Anyways, we can talk about. I'm just kidding. I know. If only there was more of this one.
Good, dude.
And it's called Delicious.
Fucking delicious.
Hello? We're back and better. We're back and better than ever.
So, we talked about change. Change is good. What else? Change. No.
What else?
Change is also involved in
relationships.
Yes. Oh, relationships. What a change. I've literally experienced so much change.
You really have.
So have you, though.
Yeah. But you have like, you went from an engagement to a relationship. That's a lot.
But, okay, so yes. I was engaged. I've talked about this before many times. But I was engaged in a 6.5-year relationship, ended that, and then got in another relationship like a few months after.
Like a few months after, and we will say you learned a lot from it.
You
had a great time.
And
you learned so much. It was healthy.
It was healthy until the end. But it ended up being healthy.
I think it was healthy throughout it all, because every relationship is going to have a high and a low.
But there's healthy highs and lows. But it was healthy in the sense.
I think that anybody who's been in a like 20-year relationship has had some sort of unhealthy low.
No, yeah, that's true.
Like I feel like I wouldn't hold a relationship to perfection.
Only healthy, yeah. Mm-hmm. But that's the goal.
That's the goal to have
the goal.
Healthy interaction for the most part, and healthy communication, and healthy commitment, and healthy
but people slip.
Growth. And we slip because we're human and we're imperfect.
But understanding is different than exclusive. That's literally just like, because we are understanding.
We're
people.
very understanding people. I'm a very forgiving person, and that's my fault.
That is what lets and allows people to walk all over us at points. Yeah. You know, because and also because we are this way, like we attract manipulative men.
Damn.
Because they are seeking people like us, because they know they're gonna understand me. They're gonna understand because.
And the thing is that I feel like we can kind of smell that shit when it fucking gets close, and here we are being gullible as fuck and trying to give people the benefit of the doubt
when they don't deserve that shit. Honestly though, like that's true. Like we attract those kinds of men.
Would you say
we're empaths, and empaths are attracting to people. People want to fucking take advantage of us, but we are past that. At least I am trying to be.
I'm definitely trying to be past that.
It's hard though.
And I feel like it's hard because we for me, like, because you have certain level of understanding, you excuse behavior, especially when you see them play victim in some way. Mm-hmm. Like I excused behavior because I knew the past and I was trying to be graceful with and like understanding and like.
Yeah. Okay. I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So like in therapy, I learned that the kind of guys that I mean, maybe you too, I think we kind of attract similar styles of men, maybe. Because we're similar in a way.
Yeah.
You know, we're similar in the sense that we're empathetic. So my therapist was explaining to me that like guys, like I even experienced it though I'm not gonna say what. I experienced it though with someone where like the second that I started pulling away because I was like seeing him for who he was and seeing the manipulation and stuff, the second I started doing that, because he knew I'm understanding and I'm empathetic, he whipped out something from his past and his childhood that was going to make me feel bad for him. Yeah. And that made me stay longer because I felt bad that he went through that. Like they literally have it in their tool belt.
Yeah. But you know what? Sometimes like I will say that I feel like that's how it was with me in my last relationship. But at the same time, like, instead of like reading that as a red flag, it's like
red flag. It's like, bitch, you better see this red flag.
You better see the red flag. No, instead of seeing it as a red flag, like I started to play in that. Like that's how I started being too. So then I started justifying myself with my past. And like we did that kind of like limbo, like we played that game, you know, where like I would fuck up and then I would excuse myself in my past. And sometimes like the stories we fucking make up make sense because things from our past are true, but at the same time we're not standing in our power of the present and what we're trying to build, right?
Yes, focus on that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So that is interesting.
So you would play in that as in like.
I feel like.
Like you would excuse your behavior.
Like sometimes, sometimes I would, react in a certain way, and I'm like, why was I like that? And then I would be like, and then once I thought about it, I'm like, damn, well, that made me feel like this, and that would kind of make me think about something in my past, and then I would try to explain myself.
That's fine. I feel like that's fine when it comes, but when it keeps happening and it's like the same thing, then that I think is when it's like not healthy. But I think it's healthy to look back and be like, okay, I'm like this because of this. Okay, now I know that I'm like this because of this. So let me get a hold of it.
Yeah.
Instead of like using it as an excuse.
Actually, and also like, I feel like sometimes like holding space for each other in a relationship is important. And I remember I remember holding space, but I sometimes felt like space wasn't held for me. Like I was whenever I acted out of character, I was given like a few minutes, and I wasn't given like a whole moment to like process, and then because then by the time I realized that I would act wrong and I would ask for like, oh, I'm sorry I did this, the sorry wouldn't be enough. Like it was like I had to kind of like fight for it to be forgiven for something that like I had a moment, like I had a moment.
You were triggered.
I was triggered.
Yeah.
And I needed
like you needed grace.
Support.
You needed grace.
I needed grace.
Yes.
I neted.
Yes, I get what you mean.
A boyfriend.
Yeah. Someone
the person
to
who you
comfort
trust.
You, understand you. I'm gonna manifest that for us both. Someone who understands, who's comforting, who sees us, who holds space for us.
Who we're willing to do all that for too.
And that's what we are doing. At least that's what we're doing in our friendships.
That's what we have meaningful friendships.
Yes, because we're holding space.
That's why
and like yes.
That's why we're living
our true. Yeah.
We're true. Yeah.
We're living what we want. Like that's why we deserve that back, because we are coming forward with healthy energy. And we deserve that back.
Dude, I will say though, have you been toxic? Because I've been toxic, and I won't.
Yeah, I'm not perfect.
I've been toxic.
I'm not perfect.
But you know what?
But I know, dude, it's like the toxic
relationships, like, I feel like relationships are, depending, I guess, who you're in a relationship with can make you toxic.
Yeah, no, honestly, like, because I experienced healthy relationships and I've experienced unhealthy relationships, and I know that the person that I'm with can bring out a healthy version of me or an unhealthy version of me. But the difference now is that I know what's unhealthy and healthy, and so I'm gonna put an end to the unhealthy person real quick now. But before I was giving that unhealthy version like a lot of chances, and I was like thinking of.
And that's where it all gets confusing.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck is in the wrong?
Who the hell is? I was like in my previous relationship, I was thinking like I thought I would tell people I cry all the time. I would say that all the time. Like when I would get my lashes done. When I would get my lashes done, and you would say you can't get them wet for 3 days, I'd be like, how the hell am I not gonna cry for 3 days?
That's sad, dude. Honestly though,
yeah,
I've cried a lot too.
And like I would think that I was that person. And then after not being with this person, I haven't cried. Like I cried maybe once, and those were happy tears.
And that's how you know you're in the right path, because it's like things start going right, and you're like, okay, this makes sense.
Like I feel stable.
You start feeling more stable. things start happening in your favor.
Things are clear. Things get foggy sometimes.
I don't know if, I guess. I think for me, it was like, it wasn't easy. It wasn't, things weren't clear.
No.
But at least, like, there's a lot of, like, I've always thought, like, I've had an angel because, like, some way, somehow, like, life lets me know that I'm, like, on the right path, or so, like, that's growth is, like, the biggest indicator of, like, you being on the right path and putting an end to toxicity.
It is what it is. It is what it is. It's toxic.
You're toxic.
Do we really not know the lyrics? I don't. I always say toxic. I never know. I've always been playing the part. Anyway, so be with someone who fucking brings out the healthy version of you.
Yeah.
That's it. Like when you're living...
Literally, be with someone who is a cheerleader to your growth. Be with someone who empowers you to be better. Be with someone who respects you. Be with someone who acknowledges who you are at heart. Be with someone who shows affection. Be with someone who loves you. Be with someone who's not scared to commit.
And knows what they're committing to.
And like let's clear the air about commitment.
Yes.
Like, commitment doesn't mean like, oh, I'm committing to you for the rest of my life. Commitment is I am committed to being myself and engaging in this relationship that we are agreeing to in this moment. It's it's a level of respect.
Yeah.
It's
the integrity thing. It's integrity.
It's having integrity. You know, with what you're putting out there.
Commitment is clarity for sure.
Yeah, I love, and I hate when I come across someone who's scared of commitment.
Because it says a lot.
And I feel like that's kind of like one of the indicators that could be like for us now learning experience that could be like next.
Yes.
Because
of course
the angle it's the angle. It's not even like it's the angle you're seeing it from. What do you mean?
Like how can I? Yeah, go on.
Like what do you mean? What do you mean you're scared? Like commit? Like what is and maybe that's one of the questions that we should ask. Like what does commitment mean to you? Because like what are you scared of?
Yes.
You know, like.
I want someone who's committed to many things, like in their life, including myself. That's what I want.
Like if we're gonna engage in a relationship,
you better be committed.
Like I'm committed to my life. I'm committed to myself already, independently to my life and to being better, and working towards better and enjoying my life passionately. Yeah. So I'm committed in a lot of ways already in my life, and if you're gonna come into my life, you're going to be one of those other things that I'm also committed to, which should give you security and a feeling of safety, which is the way that I would want the person that I'm going to engage with sexually to feel. Yes. So what is this fucking bizarre idea of I'm scared of commitment? I'm not asking you to marry me, folks.
I know, we're not commitment we're does not equal marriage. It's the biggest thing.
Men were sometimes boys, and boys will become men. So
we gotta get the men.
We just gotta give a little grace to those boys and stay next because we are gonna attract
a mature, ready to commit man.
And by commitment we mean committed
to life.
To now.
Yes, now. Keyword is now. That's another thing that therapy showed me was like,
she's like.
No, that's another thing that therapy showed me was like, I was so, in my previous relationship, I was so focused on the end goal because this person brought up marriage so early on that like I was thinking, okay, this person wants to marry me. Like I was so focused on the end goal, which was marriage, and missed all the freaking red flags that led up to it because I was so focused on trying to get that end goal of marriage. And like that's why I want to be committed to just now. And like enjoying the now.
Yeah.
So that way
and taking it day by day. Yeah. But you can't start a relationship by being scared of just the word.
No. Very true. Very true.
Obviously. I mean, everybody could probably tell that.
What?
Like that freaking like something. Like I'm like I have a big. This is a big deal for me recently. Like I'm like let's get things straight. Because we can only talk from experience. So
yes.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Well, I guess that's it, folks.
That's it for today. There's no more wine.
There's no more wine.
It was a good night. It was a good chat.
Cheers to change and
Cheers
commitment.
Yay. Cute. We're cute.